Hey guys. Well, I didn't think I'd be making another Mavs video anytime soon, not until next season, anyways. But some pretty important things happened in the organization, and been getting a lot of comments and questions asking me what I think about, as you all know now, the firing of our head coach Avery Johnson. And to be honest, guys, I've got mixed feelings. I'm leaning towards more that it was a bad move to do so. And I'm probably the minority. I know a lot of Mavs fans here on YouTube and around are happy that Avery's out, and maybe we can get some new blood in. And maybe that's what needs to happen. Um, but I think Avery is a victim of his own success. Um, his first year, well, even before he got here, I'll just give you my opinion on how why I've grown to like Avery Johnson. We had Don Nelson here, and Don Nelson is what built the Mavericks to become him and Mark Cuban got together and turned this team around. This team used to be a joke in the NBA, and now we're legitimate contenders. We're one of the elite programs. At least we were the past 2 years, and before that, we were always contending, kind of like the Suns are. And Avery Johnson was an assistant coach with him, and did a great job as assistant coach. And when Nelson stepped down, I got us, and they appointed Avery Johnson as the head coach. I was a little bit worried because I kind of had the whole Dallas Cowboys Dave Campo thing, where Dave Campo was an amazing defensive coordinator, and a lot of you guys, a lot of Cowboys fans forget about this. Dave Campo was one of the best. We were probably one of the best defenses in the league during those years that he was just the defensive coordinator, and we didn't win a lot of games because our offense was terrible. But our defense actually won a lot of games. I remember during those years at the Cowboys, I'd rather have the defense on the field than the offense because we had a better chance of scoring. But when Campo took over as head coach, man, he was terrible. And so when Avery Johnson took after Nelson stepped down, I got to say I was worried. I didn't know how he was going to react. And he ended up taking us to the finals that year. And during the finals, the game got away from him, and he made some questionable adjustments, and the team didn't respond, and we lost in the finals. And then last year, he got this team out to 67 win season, and we lost in the first round of the playoffs. And this year, a 7 seed, and we lose in the first round of the playoffs. And I can see where you would sit there and look, and you know what, the coach is on a downslide, and maybe we need to go in a different direction. But the guy also, his winning percentage is like .725, which is amazing for a head coach. And I think a lot of this I think that Cuban probably had on the back of his mind that he was going to get rid of Avery Johnson at the end of this year. Anyways, and this is just speculation from me. This is anything I've read. This is just me, CowboyTD, thinking. Avery Johnson was a point guard in this league, and he took a lot of pride in that, and he was kind of molding Devin Harris. That was his project, to molding Devin Harris into kind of what he was when he played the game. And by trading Devin Harris away and bringing in a veteran in Jason Kidd, you're almost telling Avery, okay, you're doing a terrible job. We're going to bring in a guy who already knows how to play the game, and pretty much saying, that you're not doing a good job here. And I believe that caused a lot of tension, because I remember when they would ask Avery before the trade happened about Devin Harris and the trade, he really didn't want to talk about it. And it wasn't just I'm the coach, it's the basketball team. I could tell it hurt him that they were going to have to get rid of Devin Harris, and it hurt me. I talked to people. I'm going to own up to some things. I was excited about the trade. I really was. Now Devin Harris, I've told people that Devin Harris is probably one of my favorite players on the Mavericks at the time. And when I saw that his name was in the deal, I took a step back, like, whoa, man, I don't want to get rid of this guy. But I saw that, the Lakers and the Suns, and I found that whole trap, like, you know what, maybe this is good for us. And so we made this deal, and it didn't work out for us. And, it probably hurt us. But I don't know. It probably did. And it's not like it's Jason's kid's fault, and it's not the Avery Johnson. It's not even Mark Cuban's fault for trying to make the deal, because we're trying to do something to get this thing a championship, and it just didn't fall through. But I don't think that Mark needs to put this on to Avery Johnson and fire him because maybe this trade didn't work out. And I know a lot of guys don't like I said, I know a lot of guys are ready for Avery Johnson to get out. For me personally, I would have given another year so that he can work with this new group of guys that we're getting. We want to instill chemistry. A lot of the problems I've had with the Kidd trade is not that Jason Kidd is old and stuff, and that's part of it, but that there's no chemistry with the team just yet. I mean, he threw him in here like, all right, now get in the playoffs and let's go. It doesn't really work that way, at least with a point guard. And so I'm thinking, you keep these guys around maybe. You make the adjustments like I said. There's guys we got to get rid of. But I didn't think Avery Johnson was one of those guys. For me personally, guys, my decision is I think it was a bad move. I think Avery got jobbed in this kind of as the scapegoat for Mark Cuban's mistake. And I like Mark Cuban as an owner. I think he's a good owner. He's one of the guys that put a lot of money, put a lot of effort into this team. It's a bunch, and I hate this. It's like, and I said in my last video, I was kind of mad in the last video, so it didn't really come across as well. I hate this, guys. I hate what this team is starting to become, because this used to be a close-knit group of guys. At least that's what I could tell. With Avery, jumping in there, taking the reins, and teach this team defense. Nelson was the running gun. Avery taught the team defense, was what we need to get over the hump to get into the finals. And I think he needs to get a little more credit than he gets. Kind of a Wade Phillips, Bill Parcells thing, where Wade took over Bill's team, and whatever happens, if something bad happens and it's Wade's fault, something good happens, Parcells gets the credit. And it's kind of the same way with Avery and Don Nelson in some areas. So guys, I don't know who we're going to get, but me personally, I don't like the move. I hate it for Avery Johnson. He's one of my favorite guys in the NBA, and I just want to thank him for everything he's brought to the Mavericks, and I sincerely say that. And, I know I'm going to get a lot of comments from Mavericks fans maybe disagreeing with me, and that's fine if you disagree with me, if you think this move's okay, but don't dog the guy, man. Don't dog Avery Johnson, what he did for this team. And maybe it didn't work out here in Dallas, but I hope it works out somewhere else. So that's my take on the situation. I don't like it. It's a bad time to be a Mavericks fan because there's a lot of turmoil going on, but still got to rep them now. So thank you, Avery Johnson, for everything you've done for this organization.